Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me a photograph of a little house and a file for that little house. But the house is way too small. You know, if you look, I don't know anything about millimeters. I always have to cheat and go to inches and then select it. I mean, that's only 1.5 inches across. That's tiny. So let's go back to millimeters. Because this particular item was made for 3mm wood. And I always try to express to people that on a joint like this, when you resize it, this distance is the only one you need to resize. This one, this is the thickness of the wood. This is the cut, which is going to be representative in the cut over here. So what you do is take all this and go right here with this ratio locked. He wanted to increase it to 200%. See, and now what that did, that made this joint to 6mm. So we need to change some of the joint. This might take a couple of videos to get all this in. If we take this joint and change just one direction, and I'm going to prove a point here, we're going to bring in an indexing line to the center of this deal. If we take that and change this to 3mm, well, take it back, unlock your ratio, 3mm. It's still in the center. So you haven't changed anything as far as the shape of the house, the thickness of the wall, or anything. Just change the one that says 3 to 6 or 6 to 3. That's done. That piece is done. Get it out of here. Don't want to see it again. Now what we need to do, and the floor is going to, if this is 3mm wood, we don't have to worry about this piece right here going this direction, because if we look, this is 20mm. Well, if you remember, our joint is still 20mm. It's 20.06 because I'm at an angle. But, so it's not that part of the wood, it's this part of the wood. And I've never seen these little tabs before. I like them. But in this case, on this one, it just won't work. And we don't really need them on the floor. So let's take the parallel dimension tool. And so this is that 6mm mark. Take the shape tool and delete these nodes. Then take your nudge distance, set it on 3mm. Take your shape tool, grab both these, and just left click or left arrow that. See how easy that was? Now we still need to do something with the walls, but I'm going to go ahead and do the, and normally I don't like messing around with, you'll see in another part of the video where once you do one, you don't have to do the other one, but just delete that. You still got the nudge factor set up, put it in there. Now the walls are made to stick out like a log cabin. And I don't know if the person that sent me this file, it really looks rustic. I don't know if that's glue or, and these are also vector line cuts. And that's gonna be probably in the second video. But if we look at the parallel dimension tool, this is 12mm. That's twice as thick, same thing. Grab, and this is kind of broken up into lines, and I would, if it was mine, I would actually shift select both these and then grab them, go up to Windows, Dockers, join curves and join those joints. Then they won't cause you a problem. And then you could select all these, and I'm going to down arrow key. So it's still 6 millimeters for the 2 pieces of wood. Same thing on the other side. There's that broken joint. That'll give you a lot better cutting anyway. And to go up this time. Now those little tabs will work in this case. See, if you shift select that line and then grab that, it'll fix that. Down arrow key. We're almost done with over half the wall. Fix that. Up. Now, everything else will work on this except for the roof. And really we need to just do the same exact thing. If we look with the parallel dimension tool, that's 6 millimeters. But you know what? In the roof, they're sticking out. So we don't have to do anything to the roof because they're made to stick out because, well, I take it back. These aren't sticking out. These need to be corrected. It's these parts, so I stand corrected. Now, it's a little bit harder on an item that's at an angle. But what we can do is grab all this, Control G to group it together, and we're going to rotate it a negative 45 degrees. What that did, it put these joints going upward. So, yeah, they're not sticking through. So we need to measure them just to make sure. See, they're 6 millimeters. We're going to do the same thing on the roof. You don't need these little nodes. Now, I grouped it together, so I'm going to have to ungroup it. Now, the good thing about it, I don't have to move it but one time because the other ones are going to be at an angle. Just sweep through there and delete those nodes. Sweep through there and down arrow key. Okay, that one's done. This, because we moved it at an angle, we can just, probably easier just delete them one at a time. Now see, those are vector engraved lines, and I'm gonna have to make a second video. No, I don't know why that isn't moving over. Do one at a time sometimes, get the same result. So the roof, this house is done. And the good thing about it, you could just put it back to 0 and you got it right back where you were. So I would do the same thing on this roof. Now on these sides, it's a little bit easier because these two are exactly the same. So you only have to do one of them. Let's measure, I'm making sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure that's 12. We need to set our nudge distance on 6. Let's make sure. Kind of hard when you look at things. Yep, I probably didn't get it right. No, it's a little bit less. So just kind of playing with this, those really need to be down to 6. One minute. Yeah, these are the ones sticking out. So it's almost, it's good enough. So just take these and go down arrow key. Take these and go up arrow key. Now the good thing about it, and then after you get this one more joint, you only have to do this one time on this one. Now we need to change it back to 3. And if you can't change, you need to go, because on that one, we only need to go 3. Okay, we're done with this piece. Look at the difference. The walls are the same and it's sticking out. Just delete that piece. And then, because you got 2, well, two pieces, Control D, and make a duplicate. And for the one I'm doing it for, you need to set your duplicate distance on 0, 0, and that's a very good reason why. All right. The only other thing is these holes inside the roof. And I'm going to do one of them real quick, and they have to be separated because, and remember that we only need to do the 3 millimeter. It's really easy. I'm only going to do one wall. And then I'm going to show you in a separate video, because this is getting too long, pick it with the pick tool. I'm going to show you how I would cut this out and still use these vector engraved parts. Anyway, pretty easy, just a couple things you got to think about. And anyway, I hope that helped them a little bit, and thank you for watching.